Hello everybody. In this presentation, I will introduce a new functionality inside the ReMachine segment table, Auto Direction. This new option can improve the automation and save programming time. In addition, this presentation includes some improvements in cleanup procedures and a new type of reref by offset. So let's start. So inside the ReMachine segment table, a new option, automatic tilt direction for a selected segment. The system considers the holder and the part and suggests an optimized direction. A click on the Edit segment icon will open the Edit tool options. Note, the Edit tools are no more separated dialog, and it is merged into the table. A new icon was added, Suggest Direction. The option will be available only if the tool has an holder or shank. After clicking on the new icon, a feature guide opens up with some screen parameters. The first one is the snapping options. Snapping can be used in order to change the orientation of selected segments to an orientation of an existing UCS. 4 options are available. No snap, which means free direction. Snap to existing directions, which mean directions that were defined earlier. Snap to selected UCS. We can pick the wishful UCS. And snap all directions and UCS, which is the default option. The second parameter is the segment split setting. It has 2 options, don't split and allow to split. If we will select don't split, the system will not create a new direction to the segment if it is not possible from one direction. The second option is allow the system to split the segment to several directions in case there is no option to mill from one direction. In case we split the segment, we can set an overlap value. The next parameter is the UCS creation setting. We have the option to create or not create UCS. If the option Create UCS is active, we can place the UCS in the middle of the segment or in the active UCS. In addition, we can set a preferred tilt angle, and we can limit the tilt angle from Z direction. In this slide, we can see an example of the process. First step is to select a segment or several segments. Then click on the Auto Direction icon. Next step is Setting, Parameter Setting, and Apply. As you can see the results in the image to the right, the selected segments is now split to 3 segments with different directions. Between the new segments, a 3 mm overlap was created. 2 new UCSs were created on the segments, and 1 was snapped to an existing UCS. Another improvement for 15 in the edit row parameter is the new spark gap parameter. The actual surface offset is calculated as surface offset minus spark gap. Okay, so let's do a short demo of this new feature and then we will discuss on the new improvements in cleanup procedures. Okay, so after we load the auto direction file, we will click on the remachine segment icon in order to open the table. So let's create a new row. The reference cutter diameter will be 8 millimeters. We will not use surface offset or spark gap, and we will select all the faces for the geometry. For mill cutter, we will select the only option, ball 6 with a shank and holder. And let's run the edit row. System calculates all the segments towards Z direction. Okay, so now we will use the new functionality of the auto direction analyzer. So first we need to select the segment and we have to have a cutter with holder. Then we will use the edit segment icon in order to open the options for editing. As you can see, the new icon suggests direction to a selected segment. After we click on this new icon, a new feature guide is open with some screen parameters. These are all the parameters that we have already discussed in the presentation. In this setup, we use snap all. We allow to split the selected segment. We will use the overlap option of 3 mm. For UCS, we can let's create UCS on the segment, and we will use preferred angle of 25 degrees and max angle of 90 degrees. Okay, let's run to see the results. Okay, so very simple. The selected segment now divided to 4 segments, 4 different directions. There is an overlap between all 4 directions, and you can see new UCS was created on each new segment. Under the row, we can see all directions, all new directions with the tilt angle, tilt direction. We can hide or show the new segments. Okay. So this is basically the new functionality. Okay, so let's talk about some new improvements in cleanup procedures for 15. Let's start with reref. In version 14, a reref parameter was activated by checkbox. If it was checked, the parameters were exposed. version 15, a new drop-down parameter that had three available options: reref and finish, reref only, and finish only. The parameters now are changing according to the selection. In this example, you can see the difference between the three options: finish only, reref only, and reref and finish. Version 15 introduced a new mechanism for reref by offsets. A new parameter reref by that has two options. First one is layers and the new one by offsets. If the parameter reref by is set as layers, the old algorithm will run. The second method for reref is by offsetting the finish passes. The user can set the offset distance, a vertical step, a side step, and the system will create the rough motions. For both options, stock is required. The system will not create motions where is no stock existing. The machining order for the offsets is offset all the way down and then to the next one. In Cimatron 15, cleanup procedure allows round corners. Rounding is possible for all motions. This new option located under high-speed machining. If basic is selected, a default preferred corner radius is shown and refers to all sharp corners. In advanced mode, the user has control over the value of the round corner for layers and for all motions other than layers. Okay, the last parameter for this presentation, the last new parameter for this presentation is the pencil curve. This new parameter is located under tool trajectory, mill pencil curve. The parameter's purpose is to avoid approach and retract motions to and from junction areas. By that, it will improve round corners on junctions. There are two options: single pass, work as it was, and two passes. The pencil curve replaced by two offset passes to both sides. In the image to the right, both yellow passes are the outcome of using this parameter set as two passes. The purple pass between is the original single pass. The other motions remain the same. Okay,